All right, folks, here we are. This is Adrienne. Lovely nail biter. Yay. We are so excited. I can show you guys some nail biter form application. So we are getting started with prep for her. Pushing back cuticles, scraping, all of this good stuff. Let me zoom in so you guys can see what I'm really doing. All of this good stuff here. You guys want to make sure that you are getting all of that. Very important. Scrape, scrape, scrape. Push. It's really important. This is what causes lifting, so you want to make sure that you are scraping your nail and getting all of that excess off. Now you can use a prep bit if you would like. I like the 471 prep bit. I'm old school. I like doing this by hand. I like being able to feel that I have everything off, because your pusher is going to catch, and when it catches, it's going to scrape it off. Now if it doesn't catch anything, there's nothing left to catch. So I like being able to feel what's left on the nail instead of just possibly smoothing it out. Because if you're using a prep bit, you've got to go over the nail a ton to know that you are actually getting it all out. So then I'm going to go ahead and use my file. And this is the 100-100. So I'm with Jim McConnell in the belief that you can use a higher grit file if you are nice and gentle on the nail. And files are shaped like this for a reason. So you want to go around the cuticle, back and forth, just to make sure you're getting everything off of that nail. You're getting it really well prepped. Make sure you get into the sidewalls. I'm going to be showing Adrienne's full set in pieces, so I'm going to prep one hand and then I'll go ahead and turn the video off, and then when I go do form placement I will turn it back on. So you guys will get this full set in pieces, but that way you guys can see it without having to watch both hands. Again, I'm very lightly buffing the surface of the nail with my file. You don't have to be hard on the nail. Just make sure you're getting all the way around to the sides. You don't want to miss anything. These little bits here that are shiny, you miss this is an open spot that can lift, so you want to make sure you're getting into all of those spots around the nail, especially up here in the corner. And if you see where it has stuff going on up there, take your pusher and re-scrape it. Make sure you got everything, because this is important. You want to make sure that they're not going to get lifting, because your goal or your anticipation is that likely they're going to go 3 to 4 weeks between services. And I try to get them back in 3 weeks after their full set just to see how their nails are doing. But you never know. They could be a good 3 to 4 weeks if their nails are looking good, especially if they're busy, or your schedule's busy, or you've got a holiday coming like it is now. You may end up being booked. So you want to make sure that your prep job is perfect. I typically suggest new sets come in at 3 weeks, because you're going to have a lot of growth really quickly, because now that the nail's protected, it's going to be like, woohoo, we can grow, and you're going to see a lot of growth really fast. And because they haven't been wearing nails, they're not going to be used to it necessarily, and they're definitely going to want to see their nails done again, and you're going to want to see how they're turning out. Hi Deborah, retired 6 years and still love to watch. Well, that's fun. One of my clients who only ever gets blush, Wendy, who sometimes pops in on classes or on these live videos, says she just likes to watch because it's relaxing, so that's fun. She never does nail art, so I called her out on it when she came in for an appointment. I said, Wendy Lloyd, what are you doing sitting there watching my nail videos? And she says, it's just so relaxing. So Welcome, Deborah. All right. So again, I'm going to grab a clean nail brush to dust her hand off as I go. Just take a look at it. These are great because they're surgical scrub brushes. I have these on my site because you can immerse them and disinfect them, which is awesome. So again, lightly buff, lightly. Get all that shine off. And push up around the cuticle. So I typically book my full sets for about an hour and a half, so that's what I expect to spend today on Adrienne. Even with all my jibber jabbing to you guys. Again, there's some stuff going on up in this corner, so I'm going to grab my pusher and make sure there's nothing that's going to cause any lifting. I do have these pushers on my website. They're 10 bucks, so nice and cheap, and they have a good scrape, which is important. You want to make sure that you can get that off the nail really well. Hi, Allie. Alright, and yay, I'm excited to show you guys how to put forms on these kinds of nails, because I have seen a lot of people that go, oh, I have to use tips because I can't get a form underneath the nail. You don't need a form underneath the nail, so I'm excited to show you guys in a little bit how to do that so that your clients can have really comfortable nails, because having glued on tips is not comfortable. Tips are not shaped the way your natural nail is. The glue is really frustrating, especially for a nail biter, because it's sticking to their skin and they don't feel near as natural. So using a form is ideal. It's also pretty quick once you get used to putting them on. So I'll show you guys how to do that shortly. Again, get up in here in these corners and make sure there's nothing left up there. And at the end of her service, I'm actually going to be clipping anything that's hanging around. I could do it now, but because I'm going to be doing a lot of filing with the finish filing, I would rather do it at the end because I don't want to risk her bleeding or anything like that just from bumping into her cuticle a bunch with the file. So you can wait towards the end of your service for that when you're doing a full set, and that will just typically be a better result. Alright, so her nails are fully prepped and ready for full set. You can go through and double check just to make sure that there's no more funk. Funk is the technical term. Why don't you use an e-file for prep? I just don't prefer it. I do it on toes, but for some reason on hands, I prefer going about it the old-fashioned way. I like getting in there, making sure that everything's good. I also feel like sometimes an e-file ends up smoothing the nail more than I want it to, because as you're going over it over and over, you're actually buffing it as well, and you're smoothing it out. So I like to have this kind of a prep. It's my preference for Real World. I did it with an e-file for a while, and I find that I got more lifting, to be honest, than if I did it when I did it by hand. I don't get near as much lifting if I'm using a file by hand than using an e-file. And in the Real World, I don't want lifting. I don't want my clients to have to deal with it, and I don't want to deal with it when they come back. So I do it by hand. Just better results in the end. Toes doesn't matter because people are not doing anything with their toes. So I definitely use my little prep bit for toes, but for hands I just find better results by using my hand file instead of an e-file. But if you use an e-file with perfect results, cool, go for it. But I find I get less lifting for my 3 and 4 week clients if I do this prep by hand. Alright, just double checking it. And I'm going to do the other hand, and then I'll come back and show you guys form placement and talk a bit about some primers. I'll see you in a bit. Thank you.